Yo, what's good YouTube, Mascot? We back out with another video, man. Today's video I got you guys with the prime Tim Duncan build in NBA 2K23. Now before we do get into this video, man, I just want to give a shout out to Jason2K. He's actually the one that requested to see this Tim Duncan build. So today I got you guys with this build. So as you guys see, we are in the myplayer roster. This is prime Tim Duncan, as you guys see, all-time Spurs. I just want to get like a general idea of like how his stats were. Obviously, we know Tim Duncan, probably the greatest power forward of all time. In my opinion, I think he was. So yeah, we're going to go into his stats. So he had a 78 driving layup. He had an 80 standing dunk. Not the highest driving dunk. He had a high close shot, high mid-range. He could actually shoot threes a little bit too. Now, I'm being honest, on my build, I didn't really put a three-point shot on it just because it wasn't really possible. And I actually, whenever I tried putting a three-pointer up, I wasn't getting the comparison. And then he has a 98 post hook, pretty good post fade. Obviously, he was a post player, so he does have pretty good post stats. Good post control, a 98. What else? Pass accuracy is a 68. Not the highest, but it's definitely still not bad. Let's see, what else has he got? He's got really good interior defense, as you guys see. A 98 interior defense. Decent perimeter, decent steal, good block. He has a 96 block, so he was an elite rim protector. Really good rebounder, as you guys see. He wasn't the quickest player, as you guys see. Only a 66 speed, 63 XL, 96 strength, so he was pretty strong. A 80 vertical. So as you guys see, this pretty much gives you like an idea of like how to create his build. So I'm just going over that, and then we're gonna look at some of the badges he had. So he had Hall of Fame drop step, masher, post spin, aerial wizard, back down bully, and stuff like that. If you guys want to make it exactly like him, then I'd probably go on the roster yourself and probably just like see what badges he has, because if you want to play exactly like him, definitely want to put on the badges that he had. He does have Hall of Fame post lockdown, gold anchor, box out. As you guys see, he has pretty good badges, so just keep this in mind whenever you're making this build. I'm gonna try to replicate this as best as I can. All right, now we're gonna get straight into the builder for this Tim Duncan build. All right, now moving on to the build. Now, of course, Tim Duncan was a power forward. He was right-handed, and his jersey number was number 21. So make sure you guys do that. All right, moving on to the height. Of course, Tim Duncan was 6'11". In his prime version, he was 255, so that is what we're going to go with. And the wingspan, I think I went with 7'6" wingspan because he did have like a 95 mid-range. So I'm actually going to have an 85, which I think is good. So make sure you guys do 7'6" wingspan. And then body shape. This doesn't really matter. I'm just going to go built. If you want to make it look like Tim Duncan, then go ahead and choose something else that looks similar to him. All right, moving on to this Tim Duncan build. Make sure you guys do copy it down just like this. So the close shot, he actually had a 95 close shot, which as you guys know, that is a pretty good threshold. As you guys see, that does unlock Hall of Fame masher, which he did have. I actually went 96 though for the Hall of Fame fast twitch. This is an S tier badge for the centers. It's probably one of the best badges for centers. So I figure if you're going to go 95, might as well just go 96. And then driving layup, he had a 78 driving layup. I just went 70 though because it's an extra badge point, and that does unlock the best layup package for centers. Dominant big man layup. Now his driving dunk, I'm pretty sure he had like a 65. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it that high. I just got it to a 54 for the extra badge point. And the standing dunk, now he actually did have an 80 standing dunk, which is perfect. As you guys know, with the myplayer builder, that does unlock silver rise up and pro big man contact dunks, which is nice. Now his post control, now we did have to sacrifice a little bit here. He did have like a 98 post control. It's just not realistic to do that though. We do have limitations with the builder. So I just went 87. I think that's definitely more than enough because as you guys see, 87 does unlock all your post scoring badges on Hall of Fame. So I think that's pretty good right there. All right, moving on to shooting. Now he did have like a 95 mid-range, which is crazy. I just went 85. Again, we do have limitations with this builder. You can't just go like 90 plus stat on like close shot post control. We just don't have enough room to do that. So I went 85. 85 is pretty good because that does unlock a lot of tier 1 badges on Hall of Fame amped, gold blinders, screen machine, and stuff like that. Plus, a lot of the good jump shots do require an 85 around that rating. So you're going to get pretty much all the good jump shots with the 85 mid-range. Now the three-pointer, I'm being honest, I actually didn't upgrade the three-pointer. I know he did have a 75. I think that's kind of overrated in my opinion though, because I looked it up. I mean, Tim Duncan, he could shoot threes, but he wasn't pulling up from three like Stephen Curry or like Dirk Nowitzki or something. You guys can look this up on your own. It says in Tim Duncan's career, which keep in mind he played for 19 years, he only made 30 3-pointers, and I think he only shot on like 18%. from the three-point line in 19 years. Only 33 pointers in 19 years is really not a lot. So I didn't really upgrade the three-point shot on this build. If you want to, go ahead. He wasn't really a three-point shooter. I mean, he could shoot every now and then, but I don't think he had like a 75-3 like how 2K said. And then the free throw, I put this to a 72. All right, moving on to playmaking. Now, he only had a 68 pass accuracy, which is definitely not the highest, so I just went 70. I would like to get it higher, but again, this is a Tim Duncan build, and his pass accuracy was only a 68, so I think a 70 is good. That's an extra badge point, and he still have silver break starter, bailout, so it's definitely not bad in my opinion. All right, now moving on to defense. Now, this actually was a pretty good category of his. As you guys seen, he had Hall of Fame post lockdown. So the interior defense, I put this to an 88, which is nice because that does unlock another badge point. Plus, that also does unlock gold post lockdown. Now, I know he did have the badge on Hall of Fame, but again, we do have limitations with this builder. I wasn't able to get the 93 interior. 88 is pretty good, though. We get the badge on gold. And the perimeter, he had like a 65 perimeter, I think. I just went 67 for the badge point. And the steal, I think his steal was like a 75, so I just went 73 for the extra badge point. Now the block, I think his block was a 96. I think 93 is definitely a good rating though, because actually in his badges, he had gold anchor. He didn't have Hall of Fame. So we went 93 block for the gold anchor, and you do have gold post lockdown. Now the rebounding, now I did have to sacrifice a little bit here, but it's definitely still not bad. Our offensive board, I put this to an 85 for the extra badge point. Now he did have like a 90, I think, a little bit higher than that, but I think 85 is definitely still good. And his defensive rebound, it was somewhere around this, like a 93, 94. So I went 94. That's perfect. You get Hall of Fame box out beast and gold rebound chaser. He had gold box out beast and gold rebound, but you might as well go 94 for that box out beast. That's still pretty good rebounding numbers. All right, moving on to physicals, we went 70 speed. He had like a 65, I think, so that's actually better. Acceleration, that's not very important for centers, so we just left that alone. And the strength, again, we do have limitations with this builder. I know he did have like a 95 strength. We just can't do that. 86 is not bad. That's going to be a 90 with Gym Rat. Plus, that does unlock gold brick wall, which he also did have, I'm pretty sure, which is pretty nice. And the vertical, now unfortunately I did have to sacrifice a little bit here. He did have an 80 vertical, but I just went 65 because that's all you need for the pro big man contact dunks. If you want to go higher, go ahead, but we do have limitations, and I just went 65 for those pro big man contact dunk animations. And the rest is going on to stamina. You are going to be having a 90 stamina, pretty much all you guys need. And as you guys can see, this is the Tim Duncan build right here. Pretty solid build. As you guys see, 20 finishing, 13 shooting, 7 playmaking, and 30 defensive for his Tim Duncan build. Really good build. You have really good finishing, a 96 close shot. You have big man contact dunks, the pro ones, good post control. You have a good mid-range, so you can shoot those post fadeaways and those mid-ranges. Decent enough pass accuracy. He only had a 68, so I think a 70 is definitely good enough. And then, of course, we do have really good defense. We actually have 30 defensive badges, which is pretty crazy. All right, moving on to takeovers, we do get rim, glass, and post score. Now, personally, I would say your best bets are either going rim take or post score. I think I'm gonna go post score because post score is really OP. I think I'm gonna go post shot daggers. Also could go advanced post moves, and then I definitely would get rim take because he obviously was a really good defender. I'm gonna get paint intimidation. If you want to swap these out, maybe rim take primary, go ahead. Post take is just so OP, so I'm gonna take advantage of that. And as you guys can see, the very first comparison, Tim Duncan himself, I figured it wouldn't be right. We're making a Tim Duncan build. We had to have his comparison. And as you guys see, he's a #1 comparison. Also similar to Jaren Jackson Jr. and Evan Mobley. This build's actually called a 2-way inside the arc score. I'm pretty sure on the rosters that was his build name too, so that's perfect. And we do have his comparison right there. All right, now I do also want to show you guys some badges. This video already is kind of long, so I don't want to make it too long, so we're going to go over this pretty quick. Here's the badges I would run for finishing. The only other badges I would maybe want is like post spin, maybe drop stepper. So if you can add extra badges here, at least try to add 4 extra badges for the Hall of Fame drop stepper. If you can double core finishing, that's also a pretty good option. At the bare minimum, add 4 extra badges for finishing. All right, now for shooting, I think this is actually pretty good right here. The only other badge, if you're gonna be playing like this, doing a lot of like post hop shots, maybe hop jumpers, then you could add 4 extra badges for the Hall of Fame space creator. If not, if you're fine with that, I think that's definitely all you need for shooting. You should be pretty good there in my opinion. Now for playmaking, I think this is pretty good right here. We also do have silver quick first step, so if you're fine without bailout, you also could put on quick first step and then maybe add 1 extra badge for the silver. That's an option. If not, I would just run with something like that. I think that's pretty good for playmaking. Now this actually is the best category of the build, 30 defensive badges. He did have Hall of Fame post lockdown, so I did want to get this badge on gold. He actually did have all of these tier 3s on gold, even pogo stick. So if you want a double core defense and maybe get the pogo stick, he did have that badge on gold. That's definitely an option. If you're fine without adding any extra badges to defense, I think that's pretty good right there. Actually, instead of the glove, put on interceptor. I didn't mean to do that. But yeah, I think that's pretty good for defense. If you want to add extra badges or double core defense, go ahead. But that's pretty much the end of the video, man. That is this prime Tim Duncan build in NBA 2K23. Let me know what you guys think about this build in the comment section below, man. If you guys have any other builds you guys would like me to make, please let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll shout you out right when the video starts. I really do appreciate all the support recently, man. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'm out.